So I just got cut off a little bit prematurely. Uh, I had a timer set, and it didn't go off on time. So, anyways, so I got the clock is reset. I got another 15 minutes uh, to put together some thoughts about how I might pitch myself on the viability of this project. And last night I met a guy who um, is very into politics, political philosophy, and he told me about this. Well, first of all, he told me that he was going to a school that I'm familiar with. I forgot the exact name of it, but it has something to do with social ecology, Institute for Social Ecology, something like that. Um, Now, I'm familiar with that because in the 80s, I, um, I was working, trying to help organize a green movement in New York City, a green movement imported from Europe, which was not just a green party. There was a whole movement in Europe in the 80s, and has continued since then. It started out as a kind of coalition of environmentalists, feminists, and anti-nuke people, and and we were trying to bring that movement to New York City. So, anyways, the people in New York City who were mainly organizing this were students of Murray Bookchin. Murray Bookchin is American. He started out as a socialist. He he um, he was very into anarchist political philosophy, and he developed and he kind of like integrated the socialist movement in America with the environmentalist movement in America, and he developed this whole new field called social ecology. So so I was talking to him about I was talking to him this guy I met last night. I was talking to him about this stuff, and he told me about this autonomous region in northern Syria along the Turkish border. Um, it's run by, um, but I think they've got almost 5 million people now. It's been growing. It's been um, it, as these as they've fended off and taken over the territory of ISIS. They've expanded their territory and brought viable government to areas that were previously under the control of ISIS. Um, but anyway, this is very interesting. It started with this guy, this Kurd, who was in a Turkish prison and was in communication with Murray Bookchin, and and um, this autonomous region comprised of Kurds and Turks and Arabs and Christians. It's they set up a government in an autonomous region, and it's in Syria, but it's outside the control of the Syrian regime, um, and outside of the control of ISIS. Uh, and so they set up this autonomous region along the lines of Murray Bookchin's philosophy, social ecology. Um, I've had trouble in the past with anarchist philosophy. Um, I think that it's the most democratic form of government because everybody is invited to be part of every decision. Um, but I, and I think that is great for small groups. I think it's unworkable for large groups. But I think that they've been developing representative. Uh, they've been incorporating representative aspects of democracy or aspects of representative democracy into the way they govern there. So so I don't know. It it may be workable. Anarchist philosophy, I've rejected it. in the past. I think that to focus so much on the local, you lose the ability to have a say in decisions that are being made on the other side of the world and the way the world is now. Economic decisions, military decisions, environmental decisions that are made on the other side of the world impact us. It's like there's no more local. I mean, there is local. It's important to be local, to work local. It's essential. But I think that there has to be some way to have an impact globally. And I don't know exactly how this group is handling that. But I was very excited to learn about this group, and it reminds me of thoughts I've had in the past about. I think the first time I had this thought was in relation to Palestine. It's like I had this thought that if all the money that was pouring into into arms in Palestine to fight, if all of that money had been put into developing Palestine into a viable, thriving country, then I tried to imagine what that would look like. What if you could take a poor population that was being infused with funds from the Arab world and develop a political system, economic system? What if you could more or less start from scratch and do that? And then later I was thinking of the same thing in terms of Camden, New Jersey. So I've had this. So from time to time over the years, I've had this thought of going into a local community, or taking a population and setting up a viable government and a viable economy where everyone thrives, where there's not this separation into wealth and poverty, where there's not so many people left behind, when it's a primary goal to make sure that every single person lives a good life in a safe community and thrives. And so I think that, so I'm very excited. I want to look more into this. I posted on Facebook, the Facebook where I'll post this note to the live stream that I'll do later this morning. In the comment section, I'll post these notes. But on the Facebook, I posted last night, or this morning, I forget, some stuff about this autonomous region in northern Syria and what they've been up to. For example, gender equality, absolute gender equality. It's amazing. So that's a preliminary part of a pitch I'm going to make to myself to convince myself that this project that I have in mind for Norwalk has the potential for being a model for social change and a transformation into a viable, thriving political economy where everybody does well. So I guess that's it for now. Maybe I'll try to do before noon. Maybe I'll try to put together some ideas for a theory of change. Okay.